the plan was to kind of talk about, hacking and hackers and ransomware and all that stuff.
Yeah.
That's right up your alley. But when you said that you left Lebanon, like as shit was hitting the fan, I'm an idiot. Like what shit and what fan? Like what was going on?
We're gonna get now to like more geopolitics.
Yeah, that's okay though. I'm curious too.
$28 billion from Lebanese banks funneled them to everyone in the government, followed them outside of Lebanon, and broke down the currency, hyperinflation like Venezuela.
So let's say you created this business, which is you provide ransomware. That's the service you provide. I come to you and I say, Mo, I want you to...
It wouldn't be Mo. He'd have a code name or something.
Yeah, that is his code name. He's
Mo.
really not from Lebanon, I don't think. Yeah. I'm just finding this out right now.
Yeah.
So then you just take over and do all of the work. How do you, as the ransomware, as a service owner, like get paid? Like, how does that?
So if the ransomware is like $10 million and above, you get 50-50. If it's less, you get 30%.
Dude, I went bowling today, so
We're just kidding.
I've never gone from...
Go ahead. You went bowling.
Yeah, we went bowling, right? And we dominated. Like this was the Champions of Champions tournament. So we won our bowling league last year, right? So all the champions go and we go bowl against all the champions. And if you win, you get a jacket or something. It's cool. I'm really excited. But we dominated. So I left feeling so great. So I'm like, God damn, I'm like, I bowled a 242 my last game. Well, I was just killing it. And I won a bracket. Like there's a bracket game you can go into. And I won that. So I won like 40 extra bucks. And then I go from feeling like a champion to feeling like a complete loser in the next, because then I came home and we bought a garage rack to put on the ceiling that hang from the ceiling, and it was so defeating. It was 3 hours to put that thing up in the fucking heat. And like, I must have drilled like 50 holes for the 8 holes I needed to put it in there, because I'm like, the damn stud finder wasn't working. Like I'm like, it's beeping at me where it should be, and I'll drill and it goes right through. I'm like, and I'm like,
that's exactly how it works.
Yeah,
this is not going to hold 400 pounds anymore. Yeah, just go through drywall.
Oh yeah, I went from feeling really great to really shitty, and then plus I was drinking all during bowling, and so I was having somewhat a hangover. So
that's rough. So did you get it up though?
Yeah, I just finished it before like 8:30. So I jumped in the shower, came in, and
I hope it holds. Did you try to hang from it or something?
Yeah, I did hang from a little bit, and I could tell when it's in a stud because my drill won't drill the thing, and so I have to get. I got a socket wrench, and I had to socket them the rest of the way in. But so it should be pretty strong.
They're bolts, right? Like they're full on. It's not just like little screws. Yeah,
3-inch bolts, I believe.
Like, we have to introduce you, man.
Yes.
I don't think Chris has met you before. Who are you? Obviously, I know you. You're Mo, but tell us a little bit about yourself.
Cool. My name is Mo. Hello, everyone. Currently live in Arizona. I don't know if I like it, but I prefer it more than any state. So, was born in Lebanon. Spent most of my life there. Decided to come here when shit was hitting the fan in Lebanon. I did full stack development for about 6 years in my life. Now I'm doing security. I've been doing it for like 5 years. What else? Worked in many industries in my life. International NGOs, UN partners, Syrian refugees, Subway, Burger King, McDonald's. You name it.
Nice.
What else? Yeah, worked with a lot of entrepreneurs, startups. Worked as a startup for marketing agency for 1 year. Worked with American Airlines for like 6 months before they laid people off. Worked for the university.
Were you a flight attendant?
No, I was actually like a system engineer.
Gotcha. I assume you weren't a flight attendant. That was my effort to make a joke. Too short. There's a height requirement.
Yeah, did like height requirement, and definitely there's a height requirement.
Really, I didn't know that.
I have like also a lot of body hair, so that also doesn't.
They don't
fit
like
in.
that.
Yeah, they don't. They want you clean. I'm like, fuck no, I'm not gonna shave my beard for that.
It's impossible.
Yeah.
Well, did we the plan was to kind of talk about, hacking and hackers and ransomware and all that stuff. 'Cause that's right up your alley. But when you said that you left Lebanon, like as shit was hitting the fan, I'm an idiot. Like what shit and what fan? Like what was going on?
Like, we're gonna get now to like more geopolitics.
Yeah, that's okay though. I'm curious too.
So I'm gonna give you the high scheme of events. So like there's Iran, or like the Eastern faction, which is like Russia, Iran, China, and all of those who oppose states. And there's a little faction in Iran that funds Hezbollah, which is one faction in Lebanon among other 18 factions, because it's a small country that has 18 factions, two different religions, and within two different religions, they're like two has like 4 different sects, so Roman Catholics or something like that, different sects of Christianity, evangelical, whatever, and then you have different sects of Muslims, which is like Sunni, Shiite, and Alawite, and other different sects also. All of that falls within different ideologies in Islam also, because these sects have different ideologies, and like there's more Arab nationalists, and pretty much like everywhere now we're talking about like different ideologies, how amongst people. And there was like more of a civil war back in the 1980s, and to help deal with that, so what they did, they divided Lebanon into different sects, and every population has a certain representative, which are actually the war gangsters or the war Mongols, or the leaders that killed a lot of people, had a lot of massacres, and till now they're leading. And the biggest scam of probably the history of the world, in which they stole about like $28 billion from Lebanese banks, funneled them to everyone in the government, followed them outside of Lebanon, and broke down the currency. And all of this happened because the States was putting a lot of economical sanctions on Lebanon, which fucked everyone up. Hyperinflation like Venezuela. And yeah, so that's when shit was hitting the fan. We couldn't get like enough money like into our bank accounts, because I was earning in fresh dollars. We call it fresh dollars, but there's a Lebanese pound. And because of that, everything went to hyperinflation. And at that point, I was part of like, there was a revolution that's happening. And there, they don't want the old party. They want all the system. They're trying to modernize the system and all of that. It was going nowhere. I got like about 2 to 3 threats from people, because I was also trying to help in this kind of revolution. I always been the kind of like, like rebellious. I don't like systems, that kind of person. And I was like, you know what? Fuck it. I'm going to leave. It's going nowhere. People don't want to change. They want to put the hard work. Fuck it. And that's when I.
So how did you leave? Like if you didn't have enough money to live, right? Like it's expensive to leave your country. How did you get to Arizona?
I paid off all my debts. Before that, I was doing my research, which was before COVID, which is a very important notion. The easiest state to find job and the cheapest state to live in, which was one of them, was Arizona. I asked my brother or twin brother to get me a flight ticket, flew me to Arizona. I had only $600 in my pocket. I lived on my friend's couch for like 3 months. I found a job like 2 weeks after coming to the States. I was flooding everyone with my resume. So yeah, I paid off all my debts back there. I got $600, flew back here, got my driver license the first week. I was adamant to get shit done. I mean, you know me, Chris. I mean, like, is it done? Is it done? Is it done?
Yeah, for sure.
How long ago was that?
2020 in February. February 6th or 8th was the first night I came here.
Wow.
Slept
and
on
that
the
was
couch
just it's a shitty time, 2020 too. I'm also trying to trying to make it during all that shit. So
yeah. Well, for me, it was easy, to be honest, because I had a lot of, certifications and really good, solid background in development and backend engineering. So I could have found a remote job, and it doesn't matter.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
Nice. What made you get into more of the security side, right? Like to be a backend developer and then now kind of focus on stopping hackers from hacking a system. Like how did you get into that?
So that's has a lot of backstory to this. Back in, I think, when I was 20 or 21, I've been asked to build the first information system as an NGO in Lebanon for refugees or beneficiaries. And I did it. I didn't know anything back then. I didn't know PHP. I didn't know MySQL. I didn't know SQL. I taught myself that in 9 months to build a system, or else I need to find another job at that point. It's either do or die.
Right.
So I built that in 9 months, which is impossible, converting all their data from Excel sheets, because they used to trade with Excel sheets.
Mm-hmm.
Convert, and not even cloud Excel sheets back then. It was Excel, send a copy, and that's it on Skype. So imagine the redundancy and data duplication and all of that.
All the different versions, yeah.
Right. So composed all of that, put it all in, did data analysis, system architecture, didn't know shit. Just copy, go to the website, upload with file, transfer, and edit it on the server and send it back. And there's no file versioning. You couldn't find anything. So because of all of this, we got some kind of consultant who actually knew what they're doing, introduced me to Laravel, or what we currently call it, model view controller frameworks. I knew nothing about those, and once he saw my code, he laughed. I'm like, this was a slap on my face. I'm like, why are you laughing? I'm like, I'm sorry, I don't. And he was like, I'm sorry, I don't. He was French, so I'm sorry, I didn't mean to laugh at you, but this is funny,
This is shit code. That's what he's saying.
Pretty much, his face says it all. He laughed for 2 minutes, man. I'm like, fuck. So yeah, he taught me all of this and mentored me through all of this. So I started understanding more and more, why do we need these controllers? So I got more and more interested, right? And that's when I was seeing patterns with UNHCR back in Lebanon with the Syrian refugees. They were giving one account to the whole fucking NGO, and anybody in the NGO would just share it with anybody, and anybody can access, not anybody, but a lot of people can access the data with that one account for refugees, can export them, can do whatever the fuck we want to do them. And that's when I started to push really hard. We need privacy. This doesn't work. And in UNHCR, a lot of bureaucracy. My manager was like, shit, you need to shut up, or else we're causing us problems. So yeah. And at that point, I started to focus more and more on security. I need to jump into this. I like the idea of being a hacker. I like the idea of there is no walls to the information. And I used to read a lot. So George Orwell was one of them. If you actually need to understand how society works, there's a lot of, fake history in it. And to access this kind of information and share it, you really need to know the vulnerabilities of the system. So that's where it comes from. Yeah.
So I'm always confused. When you have something like an NCO, right? Or I'm sorry, an NGO, they really don't have critical information. Maybe I'm too naive to think that they would have information that hackers would want, but
not hackers.
What are hackers going for? I'm sorry.
Not hackers, but government at that point. So for example, if the Syrian regime knew all the list of the people, which they currently do. So one of the things back then, it was in 2013, they have the list of every refugee or beneficiary that fled the country. And now if they return, they will be prosecuted. So that's very important, right?
Right.
That's one of them. Second point is, if you're sending helps to beneficiaries, you'll be able to tell whoever talked about the regime, because there's something called sensitive referrals. Whoever talked, whoever didn't talk. So there's a lot of intel in that one.
So it's not even about getting money, which is what I would think that hackers are trying to do. It's really just to control the population. Yeah. And wow.
Yeah. I mean, it's a tool to punish and keep people down, their thumb on people. Right?
Yeah. I mean, I think in terms of like hacking, it used for the main point why people hack, it's either for money or information, which is power or money. Like,
right. Yeah, information is power. Yeah.
Yeah.
Money is power, information is power. So
money makes power and information. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like the boys.
Yeah.
How are like, dude, I wouldn't even know how to hack, right? I mean, I've I write code, and I could make someone's background color change on a website if I'm clever enough. I can figure out one little thing, but I'm not like, once someone's in a system, like what are like how are they getting this information? And maybe treat me like an idiot, because I'm not going to really understand what you're talking about.
And I really don't. So go ahead, please treat them like an idiot.
But like, and even why is it possible, right? Like we know about this now, right? There's these ransomware attacks, these hospitals, like all like, just stuff that we hear about in the news. And you think they'd be like, all right, let's put a firewall in front of everything or whatever, and it should solve it. But obviously it doesn't, right?
Yeah. So, well, to go back to your like first question, which it was, correct me if I'm wrong, it was like, how do you hack, right?
Yeah.
So you hack by finding a vulnerability in the system, right? And that vulnerability, one of the vulnerabilities for the oldest vulnerability in Windows, is it used to reset everything, like the locks and everything, or the Windows itself used to reset. It's called Y2K vulnerability. So if you push the clock into 1999, 12 p.m., 11:55 p.m. on 31st of December, I think it's 31st or 30, which is the last day of the year.
31st.
After let's say 5 minutes, will reset. So that's the first vulnerability, like speeding up the clock into making it reset. Sure. There are some malwares who can do that. So the main point of hacking, it is like also human hacking, right? Is finding vulnerability for that. You can hack anything. You can hack your neighbor through like mental, or through digital, or even financial.
Digging in a trash can.
Yeah, very much.
Yeah.
I mean, if you dig it, I'm not joking. If you dig in somebody's trash can, you
can get a lot of information. Yeah.
Yeah, that's still hacking. Actually, that's the first part of hacking, which is reconnaissance, gather information.
So with this whole Y2K thing, though, that's just removing the log. So like you couldn't track what they were doing. I mean,
so like that's removing the lock. It's resetting.
Oh, the lock. Gotcha.
Yeah, the lock itself. It's removing it. So that point, maybe resetting the system. So it's reset a lot of different locks in the system. That way you can access information you shouldn't. Or now it's not a big deal because there's a patch. But back then, removing a lock in a nuclear reactor that you couldn't upgrade or update because it's a critical system, it's a big thing.
And was it that Microsoft and all these computer manufacturers, chip manufacturers, they had no idea, like they just didn't plan for, like this chip that was built in 1986 would still be around in the year 2000?
So this was like an operating system, I think, in DOS. It was like an operating system. They didn't expect it will last to like 2000. They didn't vision there's a something beyond.
They're like, there's no way if someone is still using this in the year 2000, shit has gone way bad.
Yeah. We have computers at my work that run Windows 98 still as software. It's so ridiculous. And we're high tech.
Oh man. So what people, so this whole Y2K thing, that was obviously 23 years ago, right? But today, like people are still, it's all day, every day, right? These whole ransomware things.
Yeah.
Like people are constantly being hit with this.
Or breaking into PlayStation Network and stealing everybody's information. They did that to me.
So getting back to how to hack, this is the main way to hack. You find a vulnerability, you exploit. That's it. Everything before and everything after is actually doing a lot of work, right? So actually how to hack, you need to gather information while you're hacking, but you're trying to hack, is it worth it? Like you might go to prison for this shit. Is it worth it, like selling your fucking life for $2,000 worth of usernames? Like, what's the point?
No.
Right? So you want to understand the whole ideology of hacking. So it's not actually just, I just want to hack because it's cool.
Right.
It's actually, there's a economical need. There's a fucking economy for like cyber criminals behind of it. The main idea of money is either like get information or cause harm to blackmail for information, or somebody's pushing you to cause harm because paying you for that. You don't care. That's the only reason.
Dude, I don't want to bounce around, but I'm gonna here. But like, where is this like underground economy, right? Like, is it a subreddit, or something? Like,
no.
I'm on the internet all the time, right? I've never seen a spot where I can buy usernames.
Because you're not looking you're not looking carefully for it, and it's not gonna be on so whatever we see on the web is just the shallow, or like like when you go on a boat and you just look at the water and see like full of stuff and you can tell if it's deep or not. That's how the internet is.
It's just the surface, huh?
Yeah.
So what we're seeing is just the surface of the web.
Yep. And because they want you to see it. So, for example, like if you're accessing like a network at work, you need to access it through VPN, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that's what like the dark web or the dark net is accessed through.
Through a connection like a VPN connection?
Yep. Like Onion, I2P, whatever, any of those tools, you can access the dark web or darknet depending on what you're looking for.
Have you ever accessed that before yourself?
Yeah, it's easy. Just download Onion and you can access that. There is a Reddit about like what you can buy over there.
What can you buy?
Flamethrower. There's a lot of people who can sell a lot of shit.
Wow.
But
is it not able to be monitored by government or
no?
Like I mean it's untraceable, all that stuff.
So we need to separate that point. So there's something called dark web, right? And it's all the websites that are not being indexed. So like now you type google.com and you'll see google.com because it's indexed. You type like our company name, you'll see it because we want it to be indexed. It is
meaning Google has searched it. It's in some kind of search database somewhere.
Yep. So like it's not even that. It's in the domain names, in the search engines. So when you buy a domain name, you link
it's
it on
registered.
IP,
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Register somewhere, but enable for you to like access the dark net or access like other like criminal stuff. You need to have access into the VPN itself. So this VPN, which is a virtual private network, takes you to an actual virtual private network. And within this actual virtual private network, everything might be indexed, everything might not be indexed, right? So it's up to you to look into what you want to look for. Yeah.
And how dangerous is it to surf the dark web? I mean, like if I'm doing it from my house and it's me who I only surf Google, can I be screwing myself and opening up doors to people coming into my shit and hacking me?
Yeah.
Like viruses and all kinds of stuff. It's not as protected as if...
It's like clicking on any website. You need to know where you're clicking. There are some kind of website that if you want to log into them, they ask you for a specific key or specific some kind of access or whatever, because these are like forbidden websites. You need a special access to access them. But there's other websites that like you could go on Reddit and find like it's a long maybe a long string of like 12w5f4 whatever blah 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 .com, or not even .com, .429. Click on it, you'll find the website. That's one of the deep web. Actually, the dark web is more like you need like specific tool to access this virtual private network. And that's where you find a lot of like criminal stuff and like criminal services. So to get back to the vulnerabilities, for example, there is a lot of things called zero-day vulnerability. And what zero-day vulnerability is, a vulnerability in your system nobody knows about. For example, let's say I'm Facebook and I have a vulnerability that nobody knows about, right? And I'm the only person who knows about it because I discovered it. I go and sell it for the highest bidder.
And you sell it on the dark web?
You sell it actually on the dark web or the dark net. So that's another part of it. But look, it's not like a dark web. You have a website, you have a criminal website, you have a criminal login, they know you by some kind of username or whatever. You sell this information. Or you were able to obtain from Walmart.com a lot of usernames, a lot of passwords, and you want to sell it. You sell like every 1,000 username or password for every username and password you sell for $1. And if somebody asks for like, I don't know, 2,000 names, you give it to them. Simple. Yeah. It's like a text word. How much do you want? This is how you want. Perfect.
So, dude, I'm always confused with, so there's you're going to have a zero-day vulnerability.
Is it?
And then, so someone then like kind of like has those instructions. They say, hey, this is the, way you can attack this. They post it somewhere in the dark web, or they just start, I guess posting, right? Like asking people, do you want this? Do you want this? Do you want this?
Yeah, it's like consider yourself a criminal who wants to sell a piece of information, right? Let's role play a little bit.
Sure.
So you discovered a zero-day vulnerability. So what a zero-day vulnerability is, exactly what it sounds like. It's 0 days since this vulnerability has been acknowledged by the engineers of the software itself. So nobody knows ever it existed. This kind of information is being sold somewhere else, which is the dark web, the dark net, you name it. So how do you actually sell it? You say like, I have this. Do you want to, like, it's like working with Upwork. You need to have reviews. This guy's not a scam.
Sure.
You need to have like the one in the Matrix, Morpheus. He was a well-known hacker, whatever. Like he has reviews, like everybody knows it. But you want to be that guy. And they have good reviews. Everybody in that community, regardless if it's good or bad, they trust you. Right? I mean, you're a hacker, you shouldn't be trusted, but that's my point. So
it goes back to like even getting to the dark web. I don't even trust going on it. I'm like, as soon as I download it, my shit's fucked, right?
Yeah. I'd be too scared to go on it too.
It should. So you can try it out like give it a try. Like see like a video how to access dark web. You'll see something like way before. So you think Amazon is a genius idea? It was invented before that on the dark web.
Well,
that whole idea, like selling services where people can sell a Panther or like a Battlefield RPG or whatever over there. So
can I find rub and tugs on there? I can probably find on the regular
you can find it anywhere. Like that's
But I'm trying to think what I'm interested in. Fighting Brother would be cool, but I don't know.
How good is the amateur porn on the dark web? That's what matters.
Amateur porn is the wrong word.
Yeah, it's probably really really bad porn that you don't want to be watching.
Yeah, you don't want to watch that.
It's going to be me with my Roomba camera caught walking around,
Yeah.
You'll see yourself.
Exactly. Yeah. The Roomba or your TV filming you or your own computer watching you whack it in front of a porno thing. Oh, yeah. I think about that sometimes.
That's a zero-day vulnerability. So that's how it's sold and that's how they make money.
So what's one of the biggest like zero-day vulnerabilities or like one of the biggest hacking things that you're aware of that was like that just fucked people up?
There's everything every day. Dude, there's within this year, there's I think over like 300 really important hacks, a lot of usernames being leaked. We're talking about like 20 million, maybe more. Not even like cumulative. It's a lot of shit going on. Nobody's talking about it because nobody cares. So
is it because we're numb to it? Like it's happened so many times already that it's
Yes and no, but like, don't forget, like, nobody wants to. Dude, universities get hacked all the fucking time. I don't know how, but like, you know what I mean? Like, it's like somebody walking, like walking every day, getting beaten up. I'm like, dude, how is this happening to you every day?
Is there just
major universities? Good.
Is there just not any way to prevent this? Because like, as soon as you prevent it, someone else is going to find a way past that. It's like a losing battle all the time. I
mean, it's not also like preventing it. It's like, so one of the hacks, or one of the zero-day vulnerabilities, it was discovered in something called file transfer, something called Move It, right? It's a Move It application. It's a file transfer application. I think this Move It application affected universities in California, Johns Hopkins, Ministry of Health in New York, something like that. Ministry of fucked a lot of things. So zero-day vulnerability that was accessed, maybe that vulnerability gives you as an hacker access to gain data, to gain data from whoever you go with, or like wherever you get it.
So Move It was an application that other universities and other companies were using, and they were using it probably to move files easily. Mm-hmm. And then that application was the one that was hackable. And then people got in and were able to...
Has a zero-day vulnerability, and nobody knew about it for sure. And files been stolen for those probably for a year, maybe less, hopefully less.
Whoa. So like it was no one knew about it, and people were just sending these files back. Yeah. They thought it was secure, probably, right?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yep. And that's how it's done.
Was it there was a like a credit bureau, like that was hacked. Oh, like it feels like it was yesterday. It was probably 15 years ago or something, right? And it was like everyone's credit score, everyone's like purchase history, like their whole everything about them financially. Experience. Yeah, exactly. Like, did that mean anything? Like, did that like I still have credit, you know what I mean? Like, did Experian have to go through and like change their whole system, and all these other credit bureaus had to go through and fix all of that? Or is it just like, that information's out there?
Yeah, probably that. Dude, they get hacked every couple of years. I'm not joking.
Is it a weakness on their part, or is it like laziness? Like, is it just some developer that didn't,
it's not that, like,
just built some stupid
zero vulnerability, like, you wouldn't be able to know. It's zero vulnerability. It's exactly what it is. You would never know what's hitting you. Like, you put your trust in these vendors, right? Let's say you're using SolarWinds. You put your trust. It's been working for like 40 years now. Everything is good. You would never think it would hit you from SolarWinds. It comes from SolarWinds. That's how it is. And that's exactly what zero-day vulnerability means. And that's why it's very important to put like correct measures. Like, remember the access control stuff that I asked like to be put in because of this, I might never know what's going to happen. But I know if something might happen, we have something in the code that might prevent it. So actually, to prevent it is like peeling an onion, right? Where the attack might come from, and what is the backup for that service or for that vulnerability, and how do we make sure it's going to the right places? So every time you need to peel an onion, you're getting more and more into other layers. And every time you peel an onion, you're crying more because nobody wants to do their job.
If you're peeling an onion, you're doing something wrong.
Right.
So is that, like, how are these companies, like, how do these ransomware attacks happen? Like, is it from a 0-day that they're able to, like, break into their system and then somehow take over everyone's computer where it becomes unusable?
So ransomware has different, what's it called, point of entries. Main point of entry, and I would call it's called the human vulnerability. Just person clicking on an email and boom, fuck things up.
It's not that easy, is it?
Yeah.
It is that easy, actually. So But like, let's say if somebody from HR clicks on email and like, boom, fuck things up, probably it will lock up one server, right? But let's say a developer clicks on that.
Who has more access?
Has more access, right? So they will be able to do something called lateral jumps or vertical. So lateral is jumping from one department to another. Let's say HR person get the ransomware, you're jumping to benefits or jumping into like marketing, jumping to different departments. Lateral would be like, okay, I'm HR. I can access HR manager. I can access the IT. Can access IT manager. You know, you're moving on the ladder.
Hey.
So you can do jumps either vertically or horizontally. And that's where they start getting stuff done.
Wow.
Yeah. Now there's something called ransomware as a service.
What is that?
So ransomware as a service is business architecture in which let's say I'm the guy who like has a ransomware as a service. So like, cool. Chris, provide me with the list of emails you want to send the ransomware to, right? And I'll take care of the rest. And by that means I will do something called the exploit or the payload delivery, which is if that person clicks on the file that you sent, I will be able to open it and start jumping either lateral or vertical. I will be able to call them and ask for ransom, right? I will be able to do the payment.
So if I give you emails, you're the hacker, and you say, okay, you will try to infect this company's computers with, whatever. You will ransomware as a service. So you're providing the ransomware service. Like you're a company that will take over compute. Like, and I pay you to do that.
You're like a hitman for hacker. You're a hacker hitman, right?
Yeah.
So instead of hiring somebody to kill somebody, you sabotage something. Yep. A saboteur.
Very much.
Yeah.
Very much. But like it's a system.
How do we get in this
You
job?
don't need to have a lot of human people in it. So it does itself. The only human interaction is they give you a call. Okay, we got your money, which is, by the way, it is very cool how they actually turned that into a business. So they get into the payload. They contact you to get the money. They check through their money services or money laundering through Bitcoin and different ways how they actually get the money through the wallets, and they have other services tied into that. So they do have like some kind of payment department working on that end. They call you again and say, okay, were you able to unlock the files? If no, they will walk you through it. I'm not joking.
It's like a support service, like a support team for ransom.
Yes, sir.
How are they not being caught with this shit?
Well, how? That's my question. Like,
I don't know.
Burner phone, or like a burner phone, or
dark
like
web.
Some kind of Skype, dark web shit. Yeah.
Dark web, burner phone,
anonymized
payphones.
Yeah.
I've seen those movies.
They're at the one phone booth that's in New York still. That's where they're at.
Yeah. Calling from Circle K.
If only the police are smart enough to just like watch that one payphone, it'd be all good.
Not even
so hold on.
They might be even like in places you would never think. So like Azerbaijan, Pakistan, Russia, Eastern Europe. You don't have intelligence to be able to access those. Or like the States doesn't have any.
But they're over there in Pakistan, and they can lock up a hospital. They can lock up a university. They can lock up some little office somewhere.
It's the internet.
Dude, so I can come. Okay, so let's say you created this business, which is you provide ransomware. That's the service you provide. I come to you, and I say, Mo, I want you to
No,
here's these emails.
It wouldn't be Mo. He'd have a code name or something.
Yeah, well, that is his code name. He's really not from Lebanon, I don't think. Yeah, I'm just finding this out right now.
Mo money. That'd be his hashtag.
Short for money.
Yeah, right. Mo money. Yeah, totally. So then you just take over and do all of the work. How do you, as the ransomware as a service owner, like get paid? Like, how does that?
So that really depends. If I think there is some kind of limit. If the ransomware is like $10 million and above, you get 50-50. If it's less, you get 30%. They get the rest.
The the offshore accounts or the who's ever doing the transactions, you mean?
Let's say you're the person who's targeting the company, you've done the research, you've done everything, but you need somebody like who can actually provide you this service. Or like, let's say even better. You're the person who are sending the emails. That's one of the ways that it's been done. You're the person you're still a hacker sending these emails, and one of the person in HR actually clicked on the email. Cool. You're in. There's nobody talking about this. You see, like, there's no antivirus trying to track you. Perfect. You call this a ransomware as a service. Hey, dude, I got into one of the computers. Now I want your service. Cool. Do you have the username and password? Yeah, I do. Cool. Can you provide us with like some kind of backdoor access? Yeah, I can. Cool. Well, what is this company? They do their own research. They do like business. I'm not joking, by the way. They do something called business analysis, and based on this business and the financials of this business. So if you make more than $10 million and say like, oh, I have money to pay all this. So like, shut the fuck up. We have all your financials. You have this money in this account overshore, and like, don't fuck with me. Like, okay, cool. What do you want?
Wow.
Dude, I'm not joking.
Wow.
So I provide all the services, say like, provide all of this. If it's a big company, if it's a big fish, you get like, the ransomware as a service gets like 50-50. If it's like not worth it, you get like 30% because you didn't do nothing. You didn't do anything.
Sure.
You just did like the first point of entry.
So how often is this happening? I felt like years ago we heard about these ransomware things all the
still
time.
Happening right now.
Like every day?
Right, well, every month. Yeah, every month, dude. So, dude, ransomware is just like any malware. The only difference, what is called actually ransomware, they go into your computer, they try either to go vertical or horizontal. And if they find, like, let's say the financial manager, or they were able to get into the CFO or one of the big servers, they lock it down. So they do either one of those. They either prevent you from accessing the operation. So let's say Facebook.com, you won't be able to access, like the backend or that server.
Sure.
So it's not working anymore. And you're losing a lot of money every minute if nobody's using it.
Yeah.
Or they encrypt all the important files, financial files, whatever files you have over there. And they either they sell it online, or either because you can't do your work if you don't have a backup. But let's say you have a backup and you dismiss them and say like, fuck you guys. Okay, cool. We'll just send all your information to everyone and sell it online. You'll make money out of it. We'll still make money out of it.
Is there any way to protect yourself from this?
Yeah, there's a lot of ways. It's not like one process thing. It's like, you remember like the thing we installed on our servers, right? The multi-factor thing. That's one of it, right? You won't be able to access unless you have like multi-factor. That's one of it.
That's like if they send a text to you before you log in or something. Yeah. Yep.
They can't access it.
Yeah.
The other point is doing a lot of backups. The third point is you need to have a good firewall and good antivirus. So let's say there is a ransomware in one of the computers. What you can do is something called lock it out. So which is like pull the plug on the internet of it, and that's it.
So now it's not connected anymore.
Wow. Nobody can do anything with it. You just, let's say you get out the plug out of it. You neutralize, or you don't need even neutralize, like you fucking burn the server, and you just boot another server because you have all the backups.
But hopefully, like if you have 30-day backups or 6-month backups, like maybe they were sitting there waiting for 6 months, right?
Yep.
Like your backups could be infected then, right?
Yep.
Wow.
Yes and no. That really depends on how they hit you. That really depends,
dude. So personally, right? Like let's say I go to this. What was that thing you said to download? The Onion.
Oh yeah, the Onion. It's called Onion. Onion Tor.
Onion, okay.
Tor. Onion.
Tor. Okay. Is there, like, I just bought a new Mac, right? Well, it's used, but it's new for me. Like as a personal use, like, should I be worried about this shit? Is there anything I can do or Chris can do on his computer to, that my wife should do, my grandma should do to keep their shit safe?
For Tor or only like just browsing?
Well, just anything in general. Dude, I don't know. I'm if I can click on an email and I can get hacked.
Yep.
Dude, I click on emails all day long.
Wait, when you say click on an email, is that just opening the email or clicking a link in an email?
Both.
So just opening your email?
No, so opening your email shouldn't do anything, but downloading the attachment and opening that attachment might get you.
Okay.
Well, that makes sense.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Because I never do that shit. But I'm thinking, fuck, I'm never opening email again.
Yeah.
I was going to see the header, delete, and hope it's not important.
But
that's honestly what I mostly do with my work.
Yeah. That's why you never read emails.
All right. So in the dark web, what kind of information, so can we find real alien encounter stuff, not this fake stuff we see on the real web?
Probably. Dude, now we're talking.
Dude,
things that
I'm not joking.
I know, because I know they hide shit from us and they filter shit on our internet, and we're like, I think some things get through, but there's got to be real good footage out there that they're hiding from us.
I don't know if you heard, there's something called BitChute.
BitChute, no, never heard of it.
So let me send it in chat. They really have. It's it's a Mark clip. Never mind. I'm sorry. Created a Mark clip.
Dude, don't use chat. We don't know how to use chat.
Yeah, we haven't done that yet.
Well,
I'll listen, you hacker. Figure it out and tell us how you can do it.
Yeah, that's my hacking website.
That's why. Dude, here's this email. Go ahead and download this attachment.
I'm not clicking shit you send.
No, but BitChute, actually, it's like YouTube, but with no censoring. And
BitChute.
And what's really, BitChute.
So what is that? What is BitChute then?
So it's like YouTube, but without YouTube shit. So let's say you now go to Google and actually search for things. There's a lot of shit being censored out. From here, if I go to Lebanon and doing a search, I would see different results if I come here do the same research.
But if I'm on BitChute searching for alien shit, it's probably videos that other people upload. And the problem is people are like, look at this smoky ring in the sky. That must be an alien. And it's not, right? But
they'll get a dislike.
I'm gonna go to Pornhub first and then BitChute. That's the order of operations there.
Also, I think Pornhub is like Google now.
Yeah.
Filter shit based on where you live.
Yeah, no, for sure.
Yeah. It's now in Arizona, all busty stuff. I'm either busty or Latinos. I'm the first time I came to this house, I'm all transgender shit. Or I'm who the fuck lived here and had this because they track you according to your
IP address. Yeah.
Okay. Because I don't have an account with Pornhub. Dude, try to go Italy or Spain. You'll see different I joke you not, better quality stuff.
This is a reason to have a VPN service. So I can surf the web from Italy. I just thought it was my whole Netflix experience would be better, but my eyes are being opened here. Yeah, Kim's gonna be like, "What's another $10 a month for this other service? How many do you need?"
No, you have it with what's it called? The password manager we have. You can download a VPN. Yeah. It's really good.
Oh, really? Okay.
Trust me.
I'll have to check it out. I haven't. As you rub your hands, they're still calloused. Yeah, no, yeah, that's great.
Is it calloused?
Oh no. It's lotion, man. You got to use lotion.
Yeah.
No. Okay. So. Clicking an email, downloading some kind of attachment. Is there anything I can do to protect my Mac, or Chris can to protect his?
So MacBooks are more safe than Windows, and it all goes back to how it was developed. And I fucking hate Microsoft, dude. They don't care about the quality of their work. All they care about is money, and that is really prominent in their Azure. They constantly changing stuff to the extent that you can't keep up, and to the extent that it's fucking up your old configurations, right? So the idea of Windows is based on DOS, which is Bill Gates bought it from somebody and built on top of it because he bought it. He's a fucking idiot. He bought it. He didn't actually develop the operating system, and he built on top of it. And the current Windows, granted, they're built from whatever kind of technology they have, but still has the same architecture as DOS, right? The same like idea or architecture. But MacBook or Macintosh operating system is based on the one of the most secure. So if you want to build a really secure system, you want to use some operating system called FreeBSD, which stands for like Berkeley Standard, or like Berkeley something, which is like one of the really old operating systems that was developed for security. I think OpenBSD now is the more secure version of it, but MacBook based on their development on this, which is one of the most secure. But that doesn't mean you won't get hacked. And one of the reasons why Microsoft is more prominent for being hacked is that it has really major share. So it's like, I don't know, 60% of it's changing now, but like 60 to 70% of everything there is Windows. Well, Mac is like 40 to maybe less. So that's why we have more viruses or malwares based on Windows and all of that. So to get back, like, it's really nice background to understand how.
It makes sense that Windows is going to be more hackable. I mean, or that's where people are going to focus their time because it has such a big market share, right? Like, you're not going to focus on the 1% of people that run, some kind of Linux operating system on their Mac. You're going to, or, on their friggin' laptop. You're going to go, all of the businesses, the bulk of businesses use Windows. That's what we should attack on. That's what we should base it on. Does that make sense?
So that's one point, like, to understand the security when it comes to operating systems. But how you keep yourself secure is in terms of what, right? That's my question. Because for me, it's like, how can I be more? Security is more about like being anonymous, right? But maybe security for you is like more about privacy. People like security for them is like not getting fucked by malwares. Or so in what sense do all of them want to talk about? So, but like, I want to know which one you're interested in.
Well, I don't know. I've never even thought of it like that, right? I just want, I have this idea that I can be on my phone and no one knows what I'm doing. And probably that's foolish because Google knows what I'm doing, right?
Yep.
I'm not even on Facebook, but Facebook somehow knows what I'm doing because my wife's on Facebook.
Yeah.
And it's just, I had this idea that no one, like, it's just me and my computer, but that's obviously not the case, right?
Nope. I mean, so like I think the idea of, like, to go back to security is how to actually be secure. Don't click on shit you don't know what it is. Simple. If you don't know where this is or why it's being sent to you or what is it, don't click on it. If you click on it, close your browser directly. If you're not sure what's going on, scan your Windows with something called Malwarebytes. It's the best out there. And you're good.
All right, guys, let's wrap it up, though. Mo, thanks for coming, brother. Okay. Appreciate it. Chris, as always.